Is Chisa actually a bad character? Chisa recently released and kinda has the Wuthering Waves community split apart. A bunch of people are out calling her mid and useless, while a bunch of others are calling her a must-pull. So which is it? Bad or good? I think that people from both sides of the aisle are actually both correct. Chisa is both a very average character and a possible must-pull, and I'll be going over why and if you should pull her or not. In order to understand my reasoning for this, we need to talk a little about her kit first and about how she works in general. Chisa is a Havoc Broadblade user that fills the supporting role. She mainly focuses on 4 things: healing, shielding, buffs, and negative status effects. She heals through her ult and the final hit in her normal attack string, and her shielding comes from her forte and using the chainsaw attacks when the bar is full. Both her healing and shielding are good, but the main reason everyone is so riled up about her is because of the buffs from her forte circuit and the benefits that she provides to negative status effects. Now, Chisa's forte circuit is a little long, but the main 2 things you need to know about is her unseen snare and her threat of bane. Threat of bane basically makes it so that if an enemy is affected by unseen snare, you ignore 18% of their defense. Unseen snare looks a little complicated, but basically it's just a status that she can mark enemies with that will then allow Chisa to stack the negative status Havoc Bane on them. Unseen snare is also super easy to apply as well, meaning that the Havoc Bane stacks and Threat of Bane buffs will be easy to maintain, but I'll get into that later. When it comes to negative statuses, if you've been playing since the start of Renacida, you know that Kuro Games added negative status effects to every attribute in the game. Yes, Spectral Frazzle, Arrow Erosion, Electro Flare, Fusion Burst, Glacial Chafe, and finally Havoc Bane. If you've been playing since the start of Renacida, you also know that these negative statuses have been very lackluster for the most part. Currently, we've only really seen Spectral Frazzle and Arrow Erosion at play, and arguably maybe Havoc Bane to a degree, but currently these negative statuses all function like a glorified damage over time effect and haven't really affected players too much. However, with the release of Chisa, things may be changing on that front, especially when you take a look at her outro skill. Now, I know there's a lot of confusing text here, so let me simplify it a bit. When Chisa uses her outro, the following effects will apply. First is that the max amount of stacks for negative statuses is increased by 3 for a short while, and second is that when applying a negative status or when doing damage from a negative status, Threat of Bane is activated, giving you that 18% defense ignore buff. This outro is massive for 2 reasons. The first is that the defense shred is huge, especially when you consider that Chisa innately works with Havoc Bane, where Havoc Bane's primary effect is also to shred defense too. Havoc Bane normally has a max stack of 3, leading to a max of 6% defense shred, but with Chisa's outro, you can raise that max to 6, leading to a 12% defense reduction, adding on the 18 for Threat of Bane, and you can basically have a 30% defense reduction just by having her outro at the right time. The second reason why this is massive is because she isn't just only tied to Havoc Bane. Her outro also allows her to support all negative statuses, meaning that she is a universal negative status support, and we all know what happens when characters become universal supports. Her support and utility is huge, but why do I think that she's still just average? It's because right now the game does not have enough characters that work with negative statuses. We only have Zani and Phoebe for Spectral Frazzle, and Karthia and Chakona for Arrow Erosion. Chisa's literally the only one for Havoc Bane, and she's the supporting character, and the other 3 statuses don't have any other characters yet. So right now Chisa's main utility is her healing, shielding, and defense shred, which are all good things, but nothing that make her stand out above others yet. Currently, the best team for her is Karthia and Chakona, but even then, if your Arrow Rover is built, the increase Chisa has over Rover in that team isn't much, to be honest. However, even with her lacking power currently, I think that she's still a really decent pull to get. It's clear to anyone that Kuro really wants to go the route of focusing on these negative status effects more and more, and the more characters that get added that focus on negative statuses, the more valuable Chisa becomes. Sure, right now her numbers aren't really crazy or anything, but at the same time, her best in slot teams aren't even out yet, and with the 3.x updates coming around the corner soon, I'd say there's a high likelihood we see the meta of the game shift into one that favors negative statuses more, meaning that we will more than likely see Chisa rise into becoming one of the most valuable supports down the road. With all that said, should you pull for her? Truthfully, I think it kinda depends. In my mind, I don't doubt that there is a very likely future where we see her at the top of the mountain, but at the same time, I don't think that recommending a character off meta alone is enough. Even if the character is broken, I think the character still has to be somewhat fun to play, because at the end of the day, WoWa is a game and you should be having fun in it. So I'll tell you all my personal experience playing her and what I recommend doing depending on your playstyle. Straight up, I'm a little biased for her. She's a character I've been looking forward to for a long time, and I ended up S3ing her as well, so I'll do my best to be unbiased and I'll only talk about her from the S0 perspective. I think the thing that Chisa lacks the most is damage. Her damage output, especially at S0, is pretty lackluster. I know that she's supposed to be the the support, so shouldn't really be surprised by all that. But the thing that makes it so unfortunate is that she is also incredibly fun to play. I think that her attack patterns are all super sick, and it makes you feel like she's a main DPS when you play her, which is really cool. But unfortunately, because her damage numbers aren't up there with other DPSs, staying too long on her rotation is technically not the best damage-wise for your team. I think her healing is also nothing super impressive either. Her ult heals a decent amount, but it's only one instance of a heal and doesn't linger after being used. Her healing from her normal attack is actually stronger than I thought it would be, but because it only works if you get the final scissor hit off in her normal attack string, it makes it a little difficult to pull off consistently, as you can get interrupted or accidentally dodge cancel it, omitting the healing effect. There are combos you can do though that reach the final scissor hit faster, which leads me to my favorite part about her, which is just the way she plays. She is so much fun to play. The combo potential you have both on the ground and in the air is super sick, and it all flows super well. I often find myself wasting time in holograms just staying on her rotation too long because she really is just that fun to play, and I'm at the point where I'm trying to solo hologram bosses with just her, since she can just do that too. So if you're wondering if you should pull for her, I recommend heavily considering doing so if you either really like and want her, or if you are someone who enjoys negative status effect teams. Otherwise, I think it's fine to skip her for now and then see where things end up once we get into the new region. If you're still on the fence about her, here's a showcase of my S3 Chisa soloing a boss, and hopefully this will help you see if she's the right fit for you or not. Thanks for watching till the end. I hope this video was able to help you all figure out if Chisa was or wasn't worth it for you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more Wuwa content and for me to get S6 Chisa one day. Thanks again, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye!